Hey travel friends, it's Stoof
And Nate.
and Zedge from Travel SzN, and we're here to reminisce on our 2021 travels and talk about some good times, some not so good times, and maybe sprinkle in a little bit of what we plan to do next year. So in 2021, we visited the Mighty Five Utah National Parks, which is Zion, Bryce Canyon National Park, Canyonlands, Capitol Reef, and Arches. Those are the five in Utah. We also visited Black Canyon of the Gunnison, which is in Colorado, and we visited Mesa Verde in Colorado and Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado. And then later in the year, we visited Glacier National Park for the first time in Montana, and Yellowstone National Park, and the Tetons, Grand Teton National Park. And we also visited Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota, and Indiana Dunes National Park in Indiana? Yeah, Indiana. So, how many is that? More than 10, right? If you guys have some of your favorite travel adventures from this year, you can leave those in the comment below. We're looking forward to hearing about your adventures as well. All right, so the first question on our list of things to talk about is, what was your favorite hike that we did in 2021? Silence. He told me this. I was trying to give him these points earlier, and I was like, you have to think about these things. And he's like, I'm not going to remember the names of any of the hikes that we did. And I was like, I'm the planner, he's the doer, so yeah.
I'm the doer?
Yeah. You just you follow through on my plans. Some of my favorite hikes were the Narrows in Zion, where you hike up the river bend and the canyon walls on both sides of you. That was really cool. Yeah, that was also one of my favorite hikes. You're talking about the Slot Canyon hikes in Capitol Reef National Park. Yeah, the Burrow Wash is the name of that hike.
Yes,
yeah, that one was fun too. It was scary, and I definitely got a little bit mentally like for a bit, but that was one where like after you finish the hike, you're like, that was awesome.
Yeah, Narrows was the one where I started complaining about my feet being wet and cold.
Yes, because the Narrows, you're hiking up. You're in at least like a foot of water for most of the hike.
Depends
Some
on
parts
when
you come
go.
out, but yeah,
like,
in the spring we went. Other favorite hikes of mine are the Grinnell Glacier hike in Glacier National Park.
Yes,
that was pretty epic. Yeah, because you hike and then you start along this lake and then you go around another lake. And it's relatively flat and easy in the first part, and then you start going uphill a little bit, and you start to see this like gorgeous waterfall like way out in the distance, and then you wrap around this other hill as you're going uphill again, and then you see the Grinnell Glacier and this lake that it's melted into.
And it was your bucket list item to touch a glacier.
Yeah, one of the things I always wanted to do that I never did before was touch a glacier, so I got a video of me touching the glacier. So that was cool.
What about Iceberg Lake?
Yeah, Iceberg Lake was awesome because
we saw the bear. Yeah,
that was our first grizzly bear we ever saw in the wild.
Yeah, like
that was exciting.
Not being out, inside a car.
We were both very nervous. We both had like the bear spray ready to go, but he was like a football field away from us. So, what was your least favorite hike?
Black Canyon of the Gunnison.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You were not happy that entire hike because that was my bad.
The whole park is closed.
Except for like one hiking trail.
That was covered in snow.
Parts of it were open for snowshoeing and snow skiing.
Yeah,
cross-country skiing. But not for hiking with boots without any type of ice gear. So we did this one little hike that gave you like a view of the canyon, and we did more ice skating like penguins like down the slopes than actual hiking.
Snow sliding.
And Nate was not. Neither of us were prepared for that.
Sliding down like this, and then there's just a drop at the bottom of the trail. And
he was very nervous that he was going to fall off the cliff. Yeah. I was just having fun, but you were nervous.
Yeah.
I like a lot of hikes. It's hard for me to find a hike I don't like. Unless the weather was really bad the whole time and there were no views. That would be a bad hike. It wasn't my least favorite hike, but it was definitely the most I complained on a hike.
You thought you were going to love it.
A while.
And then for the first 2 to 3 hours.
We had an early reservation for the shuttle because it's a long hike. It's like 11.2 miles, so I wanted us to start out earlier in the day. But the first 2 hours of the trail, maybe a little less than that. Maybe a little more than that. But the first 2-ish hours, You couldn't see anything. We were in
just cloud.
thick fog, so much thick fog.
Yeah.
And I was so angry because I had seen so many videos and heard so much about this hike and how epic the views are. So I was really disappointed, and I was complaining a lot to Nate. I was like, this is dumb.
Muttering.
I can't see anything. Yeah. Then it cleared. As soon as we got through one of the passes, it started clearing out, and the hike was awesome. And it ended up being an amazing hike because we saw pikas, and we saw bighorn sheep. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And then what we ended up doing, well, I made Nate do, is after we got to the shuttle stop took us back up to the start of the trail, and then in the afternoon I made Nate do the first 2 miles again with me. I guess like Angel's Landing, because there was no permit system, was not as much fun, because it was really crowded and you had to wait a lot to get around certain things.
On the other side, if they had the permit system, then we might not have been able
to
do it.
True, yeah.
Because with the lottery, it's just chance whether or not you're going to get to do it or not. Coolest animal sighting / encounter. Being able to take Zedge on some hikes.
Yes, Zedge was able to come on a couple hikes, mostly in national forest land. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about wild animals. We saw the fox. We were talking about this too. I was so excited when a little red fox, it was like a young one, was running after a chipmunk that was right in front of us in Glacier National Park, and the fox came and just like 4 feet away from us and just stopped,
really close,
stared at us, looked into my soul, and then ran away. And that was like the coolest experience ever.
I was just back a little bit later.
He was peeking through the woods.
Yeah,
he was looking. He kept peeking through at the woods, and then he ran over and went off. Yeah. Oh yeah, the wolves.
We got to see them in Yellowstone.
Yeah, that's your favorite. Is that your favorite animal?
Probably.
A wolf.
Yellowstone, we got to see them, which is a really good thing. We had the spotting scope this time because
they were far.
The first time we saw them, they were a lot closer to the road.
A couple years ago,
they were a lot further away. So having the spotting scope was key. We basically, you wouldn't be able to see them without that. Even with binoculars, they were still pretty far. They'd have to be pretty powerful to be able to see them. And then when we were staying in the Tetons, we also got to see a wolf pack, and we needed the spotting scope for that too.
Yeah, so that was cool.
That was great. And that was the first time that we actually got it set up with the attachment instead of just holding the phone.
Yeah.
Right?
So it was a little bit steadier footage. And I got to see some pika, which are one of my favorite animals. They're just like little tiny, they're related to bunnies, bunny rabbits, but they have tiny little ears, and they're about this big, and they're very fast, and they can't live in hot environments. If they get too hot, they just die. So they usually live in like higher elevation alpine environments, so we got to see a few different spots. We saw them in Glacier National Park.
Favorite campground?
I loved the campground, the state park in Colorado.
Yes.
That was awesome.
That was nice.
It was just like,
it was really nice.
Really spread out, and it had a flat, paved, back-in spot with a big campfire ring.
That actually fit our trailer.
Right, yeah. We had a 35-foot trailer at the time. So that was probably one of my favorites. And then I loved staying in Zion. I just wish that we had full hookups, because we didn't have that there. Yeah.
I liked I think it was the Mesa Verde National Park.
Yeah, that was really nice too. Yeah, Mesa Verde RV Resort. Yep.
Because there weren't many people there, so they bumped up our spot. Right?
Yeah, they upgraded us to like a pull-through, big, spacious spot.
Really long.
Yeah.
They had a hot tub.
Yeah, there was a hot tub there. Yeah. Least favorite campground? I know mine.
Was it Alamosa?
Yes. That was my least favorite as well. Yeah. So we stayed in
really
Alamosa, Colorado when we were going to Great Sand Dunes National Park. Bases were really crammed. There was a train that ran like 10 feet from the back of our spot at like random hours during the day and night, and it was loud. That was definitely my least favorite campground.
Because you had random people, just random people coming in to
and like using the dumpster.
Yeah, that weren't part of the campground.
Right.
They weren't staying there. They were just random people from town coming in to throw trash away. Favorite national park?
Yep. Well, we know your favorite.
Yellowstone.
Yeah. Yellowstone is Nate's favorite national park.
Because I always get to see the wolfies there.
Yeah. And then for me, of like just the parks we visited last year, that's kind of tough. But Glacier's up there,
Glacier for
really
you.
high up
Be
there.
honest.
And then I was very pleasantly surprised by Bryce. Like I really loved Bryce because I love Zion, but it's so crowded. If it was less crowded, it would be like my number one. It like not maybe number two, but it would be really, really high up there if there were less people everywhere.
I'd
But
say Arches is one of my.
yeah, you did
favorite.
like Arches
I really
a lot.
liked Arches.
Yeah, that was cool.
What was the other one that was close to that?
Canyonlands.
Canyonlands?
Yep, Canyonlands.
That's the one where we saw the sunset?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Where the full moon was there and the sun was setting. That was
Yeah.
really cool.
Park that exceeded expectations.
Okay, we talked about that a little bit. So, park that exceeded expectations for me was Bryce Canyon National Park in Utah. It's a smaller park, but there were barely any people there, and it was so beautiful. How about you? Did you have a park that you weren't expecting to be that great? That was awesome.
Just expecting everything to be wonderful because you planned.
Oh, thank you so much. Nice. And then were there any parks that like was the opposite? Like we thought it was going to be awesome, and then it wasn't?
Black Canyon and the Guns.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about that one. And then, I just thought of another one too. For me, Great Sand Dunes was not as fun as I thought it was going to be. Because the wind is my nemesis. I do not like wind.
Yeah.
And when there's
Not
wind
having fun.
with pieces of sand whacking you in the face all day.
You were getting really frustrated.
Yes, it is not fun. And I was so excited for the dune boarding too.
Yeah.
And it was fun for a little while until the sand just kept hitting you. And it's really hard to hike back up because you sink every time you walk. So
I mean, you had fun watching me face plant, though.
yeah,
right?
that was good.
Over
Yeah.
and over and over. And over.
You were determined to get down without falling one
One
time.
time.
And then you did it. And then we were like, all right, well, that was good.
Yeah. Theodore Roosevelt National Park was just kind of.
I like that park. It's just like the thing I like about that park is that like it really puts into perspective how like treacherous the West was, and when people like first were coming out.
Driving out there, said, "Isn't it insane that, we're on a highway,
Yeah.
traveling out here. It's so
Going
easy
over
for us
gulches and yeah.
versus you look out
Crazy.
at all the landscape,
Yep.
and people were traversing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the climate is so
Wagons.
extreme too. It can get really hot there in the summer and really, really cold in the winter. Okay, the next question is, what do we miss most about being on the road and traveling? Because we've been home for like 4 months-ish now.
Simplicity.
Yeah. It's a really good way to say it. Yeah, simplicity. So it's, when you're back, you have friends and family, which you love to see and hang out with, but there's all, activities and things that you're expected to go do all the time.
But also living in the trailer. It forces
Right.
you into some amount of minimalism because
Right.
you just don't have
So smaller space, right?
for
yeah.
for all this stuff to accrue. Being in the trailer, it simplifies your life. So that's definitely one thing.
Yeah, looking forward to getting back into that kind of vibe
Yeah.
next year, next
Being
summer.
able to see amazing landscapes, something different
Yeah.
every few days is also
Yeah, we have an
especially
amazing
when-
country.
when
it's beautiful.
We're getting into the winter in Pittsburgh
Right,
here,
yeah.
so
The sun came out today.
it's rare.
So that was exciting.
Rare in Pittsburgh winters.
It's gone now, but it came out for a little bit. I guess this kind of transitions us into next year. So next year, pending our 25-foot travel trailer arrives within the next 4 months. Been a lot of delays with production, so we're just fingers crossed, really hoping that our trailer is ready for our trips that we have planned. But what we do have planned for 2022 is to visit the Sierra Nevada range and the Cascade Mountain range. So we're going to hit, on the way out there, we're going to stop at Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado and then head southwest over to Death Valley National Park and then go up into Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park. Obviously stop in Yosemite National Park. Lassen Volcanic National Park is up there. We want to see Lake Tahoe for the first time. We've never been there.
Even though
It burned a lot in 2021, yeah, so that might be sad. Continue heading north. We're going to go up into Oregon, spend some time at Mount Hood, Crater Lake, and then continue north and hit the 3 national parks in Washington, we're going to do Olympic National Park and Mount Rainier National Park for the first time. I'm really excited for that one. And Cascades, the Cascades National Park, North Cascades National Park. So that is the plan for next year. So hopefully that will all happen. But we'll see. Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out. Yeah. All right, guys, so thanks for joining us as we reminisced on our travel adventures from 2021. This was a great year for us. Hope you guys had a good year as well. If you didn't, it's over, and it's 2022. So cheers to 2022. What do you have to say? Are you ready for 2022? You ready for next year? Oh. Can you tell them to subscribe to the channel? Tell them. Do it. Oh, very good. Make sure.
Look at that.
Oh, he drooled on it. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any more of our fun travel adventures and vlogs like this. Bye bye.
Happy New Year.